In all of this stuff that we did today, it's pretty obvious that this product is not what it should be or what I thought it was. If boss offered me my money back, I'd take it.
Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm feeling mean.
All right, so flop yours, then flop mine once, will you, Mike?
Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean.
Ooh.
Tonight I'm gonna pick myself a fight. If someday.
If I did the mental math right, Mike, you've had 92 breakdowns this season with this plow.
If you count all the shear pins.
Me, then I'll bust that sucker's knee. 'Cause tonight I'm feeling mean.
I tried to plow at 10 miles an hour with the Drag Pro initially, and I was breaking shear pins constant to the point where I'm buying them 20 at a time. Probably over 100 in 2 months.
So they don't wreck.
Meanest hung from me that anyone's ever seen.
We're talking about the Boss Back Drag Pro, right?
Yep.
And so Mike actually owns one, has ran one this winter, and he's gonna share everything that he's learned about this thing, good, bad, and in between.
In between, you want it all right now?
Well, we're gonna get into this, so you guys better hang on. Here we go. All right, Mike, let's go take a look at your plow.
This one I've had since the end of December, and so 2 months on it. And like I told you on the phone, I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with it. I love it when it works great, but I have had what I think is a excessive amount of problems. First it started, and it was the same with the first plow. The controller wouldn't work. And it was really frustrating because as you're pulling into the snowbank with the front plow, you need to lift the back plow in order to not build up all the snow behind you and get stuck.
And then, as if on cue, the first time Mike went to lift his Drag Pro, this is what happened. Okay,
That one might have caught it. I don't know if that one's on or not.
Okay, yeah, no, it's on. What happened?
I had to lift it up and move the plow. Remember I said like it's 100 times heavier? Look at that. It stalls out the motor. Now if I come back here, still doesn't come up.
Why is it doing that now?
Remember I said sometimes it acts like it's 100 times heavier?
Does it snap out of it on its own?
It will, yeah, but it's doing it right now. Did it on me a few times yesterday. So hopefully it'll come out of it so we can do this video.
Okay, let's just keep it running. Okay, well that didn't take very long.
That's time wasted right there. Trying to get going and the plow won't lift.
Okay, so what do you got to do to fix that, Mike?
Well, it does come out of it on its own, but that's part of that module thing that's screwing up.
Okay.
And it does this every once in a while.
Alright, well let's see if we can get it.
Usually once you cycle it a couple of times, it'll come out of it and it's fine. But it did that on me a few times yesterday when I was plowing.
Yep.
You ever get with the old Fonzie tap?
Yeah,
Might work now.
we'll try it.
Well, the Timmy tap. It works on his wife, that's why he's got 4 kids.
Hey! Oh!
And so what you're talking about is as we're pulling snow, if you don't lift up and kind of shed that.
You want to shave it off the top so
Yep.
you don't have a big pile behind you when you go to back up.
Yep.
And I would try and lift it about 10 feet away from the front plow hitting the snowbank, and nothing. And then there you are into the snowbank.
Would it lift slow or nothing?
Well, with the first plow, it was pretty much nothing. There were times when it's still doing it. When you lift or hit the button,
yep,
you can hear the motor fire, and it was the same before. You hear the motor fire, it wouldn't do anything, but there's times when it just feels like that plow weighs 1,000,000 pounds. It's just
a lot of snow weight in there, I suppose.
No, it's even sitting in the shop at home, go to leave, and it wouldn't lift. Now the boss has another.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you just said sitting in the shop.
Overnight,
inside,
in a heated building.
In a heated building, because I've noticed ours, Tim, will lift slow. The colder it is, the first initial lift will be pretty slow. Have you noticed that on yours?
Now Mike owns and runs a Back Drag Pro, which is made by Boss, but Tim and I both run and own Snowpower and Short Iron Back Drag blades. The one on this black truck right here is made by Snowpower and is designed to be able to pull snow or push snow. It has 180-degree reversible wings. The second pull blade that we own is made by Short Iron. So I want to make sure that we're clear on the different blades that you may see in this video.
Once you get it going.
But once you get it going, the oil starts
loosens up,
and boom, you're operational. That's like literally for us, it's like 2 or 3 lifts, and we're
the heavier snow. I got to start lifting a little earlier. It's just the weight when you're pulling up, to the pile like you described earlier.
Of course, went to the dealership, and at first they didn't really have any good answers because this plow is so new. They haven't sold very many.
Yep.
There's only been 4 of them sold in our town. 2 to me and 2 to people that I know, buddies of mine. Talked to Boss and they said, well, there's a little module in there. It's about the size of your phone and it lays flat.
Are you talking about inside?
Down inside of the housing where the hydraulic unit is.
Okay.
It's where all the small wires come together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gel sealed, 100% waterproof.
Right.
But the problem is where those small wires connect on the module, what they're saying is the salt adds conductivity to the electronics and it can crossfire between there and do goofy things.
And how long after you got your first one did that start to happen?
Almost immediately. So Boss's fix for that module is to mount it this way instead of flat, so the water and salt will run off of it. And so, I've had the module issue, I've had the hydraulic hose break, and then the most severe problem that I've had, the actual X brace here that's part of the lifting mechanism. You can see this is made out of 2-inch square tubing.
So Tim, will you hold this camera?
That actually broke. And
so you're not talking about on the frame, you're actually referring to this part of the plow itself, right?
Right here on this mounting hole, it tore through the square tubing. It literally tore through. Now I was plowing and I lifted it up and I'm looking in the mirror and my plow is sitting at an angle like this.
Yeah.
What in the world's going on? So I got out and looked, and here it was just hanging, still mounted on that side, completely tore through on this side.
The Mike's tore the frame one time, but he's ripped through the shear pins and gone through 88 of them this season alone, and we're going to show you exactly what we're talking about right here. One of the big problems Mike is facing is this plow just won't hold snow. It just gets to the point where the wings grab too much and snap.
Right here, this is a fail-safe to prevent failure on the wing. Okay. So this bolt here is a grade 2 1/2-inch by 4.5-inch grade 2 bolt that will break if you get excessive load on the wing. One of my frustrations with this thing, when you're trying to hold the wings forward at say a 45-degree angle, carry the most amount of snow, and if you're up against a even just the slightest bit of a snowbank, that wing will catch and drift, and if you don't catch it right away and stop, it will break that shear pin. So you either have to go really slow. First of all, with the back plow, your forward speed is going to be much slower than with just the front plow, and I'm talking 5 miles an hour or less on your plowing speed.
If you're running a drag pro.
Well,
I
that's
say
my
that because I was
experience.
plowing 10 to 15 miles an hour the other night with my snowplower. I was flying. I was sliding that rear end around, lifting it up, throwing the snow. I mean, like literally we will fly, throw the snow, hammer it down, get to the other end of the site, spin around, drop it, and go.
And that's when I first started. I'm used to, with just the front plow, my typical plowing speed is about 10 miles an hour. I feel that's a comfortable, safe speed.
Yep.
If you happen to bump a curb or something, you're not going to put yourself through the windshield. I tried to plow at 10 miles an hour with the Drag Pro initially, and I was breaking shear pins constantly, to the point where I'm buying them 20 at a time. And I just went in and I told you I replenished my supply yesterday. I literally have bought out my hardware store on 1/2 by 4.5 inch grade 2 shear pins.
That's got to be frustrating.
I'm probably over 100 in 2
So
months.
they don't recommend any higher grade that you wouldn't want to?
Interesting.
Okay.
When I was on the phone with Boss Tech Service over the course of a couple different problems that I had, he asked me, were you tempted to put in a grade 5 bolt? I said, I haven't. I thought about it, but I haven't done it. He said, well, that's good, because we had somebody do that. They literally tore the wing right off the plow, because the grade 2 is made to break, where the grade 5 is strong enough that something else is going to break.
That'd be the first thing I'd think. Like, I'm sick of changing these pins out. I'm going to go to a grade 5, and
Yep,
you know,
I was thinking the same thing.
It'll still break, but it will last longer for
One
me.
of the consequences of having these shear pin failures is, see how this kind of sits out?
Yep.
When it's brand new, it comes right in tight on both sides. I was a little worried about this driving down here on the freeway. I've got both of these wings are somewhat angled out.
Yeah.
That's all the slop from here and here. Look at how much wiggle there is there.
Do you think
And-
that's just wear and tear? Then
Well,
you make a little more.
what's happening, we can pull the shear pin out and I can show you, but you can see how loose this is.
Yep.
1/4 of an inch on these points here causes it to be out 2 or 3 inches out here.
Yeah, it does.
And so
Yeah.
what's happening is the hole inside the cylinder on both ends is starting to wallow out.
Ooh.
Come around over on this side.
All right.
When you swing this back, see it catches there.
All right here, huh?
Yep. So I have to do that first. It works better.
So it still gets. Oh, you got to just pound it down underneath
now I
there.
want you to look right here. See how wallowed out that hole is right there?
Get a little. Okay. Yep.
That's part of the slop that I was explaining to you on that swing.
All right.
Okay, so you just line it up and pop a new pin in. This doesn't take long. Now, would you be able to drag that snowbank right there? Catch that and pull it?
Not a problem.
So we run what's called a Snowplow blade. It's the same concept but different company, and the wings on our pull blades are actually designed to go all the way backwards. They don't even have shear pins. In fact, everything on ours are run with grade 8 bolts. And what you're going to see in this video is Tim is going to hit this bank so hard with the wings extended that he's actually going to kick the entire back end of my pickup truck all the way out. And it's going to have zero effect on the snowplow. So right now he's hitting that bank so hard that the entire back end of the truck is kicking over. And finally we get that wing on the snowplow to pop. But you lift it up, you fold it in, and you're still in business. There's nothing broke, no pins to replace.
Okay, so I mean, you were able to snap that on command.
Yeah.
He actually, I mean, you got it down to a
He said
science.
he's going to be by the sign. I said, you want me to break it right by him? So I just moved over a little bit, and you saw that wing drift right out.
Yeah.
As soon as it got to 180 or full extension, it's done.
Yep. Just goes pop.
Okay.
And now, knowing what I know now after using it, I don't like to break shear pins, so I would have stopped, I would have backed up, I would have winged it in, and then you leave a snowbank that looks like this. Part of what you're doing, you want it to look good when you're done too.
So yeah, Mike has mastered breaking shear pins, but he also knows how to use this Boss Drag Pro and not break shear pins, and we're going to show you that right now. When he's taking a bite off this bank, as soon as he sees that wing starting to fold out from the weight, he has to stop, slow down, and then angle out so that he doesn't take too much of a load. Then he takes another bite, moves over, and when he's slow and careful, he can continue to move on down the line without breaking shear pins. So there is a way to do it without snapping shear pin after shear pin. So if you guys already have a Drag Pro, maybe this will help you guys not have to go through so many of them in a season. This is pretty heavy stuff though.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's see if ours will break now.
Okay.
You want to run yours by it?
Yep.
I'll get out of your way.
Another good way to shed snow really fast is to actually pull one wing in and put the other wing the opposite way. And what you're doing is you're catching the snow and you're throwing it across the parking lot to the opposite side. That helps you to use it kind of like you would a V-plow or an angle blade, where you just come in, grab as much snow, and you can move it across the lot sideways instead of always containing it and dragging it. We regularly plow 10, maybe even 15 miles per hour.
Now you also said you had one of these just randomly wing out on you while you're driving?
That was part of the control issue.
That's a nightmare.
I was in town, and I just happened to look in my mirror, and my right wing is all the way out.
Oh.
And then about 2 blocks later, I got to a stop sign, and I hadn't touched the control, and the plow dropped to the ground in the truck with
So are
me right
you
now.
telling me in one single season you've had like 88 wing failures on this plow?
Well, shear pin breakage.
Shear pin breakage. How many have we had, Tim?
None. They don't have shear pins on there.
None. We've had no failures, no breakages, and 2 hard seasons.
I hit mine so hard on a a bike rack, cemented in.
Yeah.
I smashed it. I was probably going, it's late and I'm flying along. I was going about 10, 15 easy,
On the
running
short iron?
on the snowplow, and I hit it.
Doesn't have a shear pin.
No, it's got a relief, but
Releases on the
I was so I couldn't believe that the plow actually lifted back up. I was like, oh man, because it's still it's early on in the snowstorm. I'm like, I'm gonna be screwed without this thing, and it worked. I was like, no way. But then it was a little screwed up after that. But
the short iron is the similar setup as this one. So here, hold this for me,
One thing
Tim.
I've noticed, that plow has the cylinders mounted inside.
On the inside, so they mount them on the inside so that you can back right up to a garage door. You can snug it up drop it down, and that short iron is the first pull plow we've ever had, and we've not had one single shear pin break ever. And we are not nice to that thing either in any way, shape, or form. And the only issue we had was we had a little minor leak in one of the cylinders, like one of the top cylinders, and that dude Jason, he just sent me a new one. I didn't ask him for it. I mean, but here's the thing: the customer service for short iron is amazing. The customer service for Snowplow is amazing, but we haven't had to tax them the same that you've been taxing your boss people.
I will say they've been good. They've been responsive. The dealer's been awesome. Every time I go in there, they drop what they're doing. They fix it for me. But 4 times in 2 months. I mean, I thought that was excessive. And
okay, so it's been in the shop 4 times in 2 months, but you repaired it yourself out in the field 88 times.
Well, and the shear pin is a fail item.
So that would be.
When I break a shear pin, I grab my hammer, my wrench, my sockets, and a new shear pin, and tap, tap, tap on the rubber guide there, swing it around, pop the old shear pin out, put the new one in, tighten it up, and you're back in.
The reason why, and thank you first off, I want to give a big thanks to Mike for coming all the way down. Obviously, this video is not sponsored by anyone. In fact, I think I'm a little worried I'm burning a bridge with Boss. I actually love the Boss front plow. I want to go on the record.
I do too. I'll buy another front plow, definitely.
Yeah, I want to go on the record.
This is my 3rd one. I've had great luck with it.
Yes, I ran Boss for decades. Awesome customer service, awesome front plows. I seen this design, and red flags started popping up all over. And when I started to go on Instagram, I seen guy after guy that was running these things breaking their plows, and they're like, oh, it's good as a box plow. And I'm like, I'm screaming going, it's not supposed to be a box plow. It's supposed to be a 16-foot pull plow. It's supposed to increase your productivity. Right. And then you randomly sent me an email out of the blue, and I'm like, I called you back, and you agreed to drive, what, 300 miles down here or so, or whatever?
Just under 200 miles.
Okay, but 400-mile round trip. So thank you for that. And we're actually going to show this thing in action.
Put a couple of, we're talking about the controllers versus between the Snow Power and the Boss, and he liked the Boss because
Boss
it's got
control. Very simple, very
Let's go look at it.
Yeah, I've got it.
Let's go look. Our controllers are a remote control, and after you get used to it,
jump right in. I've got it
nice.
taped to my joystick controller.
Okay, which one is it, Mike?
The one on the right is the back plow.
This is it?
Yeah.
That's a nice controller.
It's very simple, very easy to use.
Oh, that is nice controller. Holy crap. It's got great speed. All the way down, put some down pressure. You see that?
Do it again. One more time. You're looking at the cylinder up there?
Yeah, I'm looking at the X-frame, and I'm looking at...
Okay.
So it's similar to how some of the X-frame dump truck bodies. I see that. I'm not. All right, you know what? You guys tell me what you guys think of that.
One thing I want you to look at here real close. You can see how the paint is chipped off here.
Yep.
You see this square tube is part of the mounting bracket. That's a sharp edge here.
Yep.
When it's up all the way, it actually puts like a knife cut into the square tube. And what Boss told me when that X-frame tore apart, first of all, he said, yeah, we broke one just like that in testing. And he said, I know of another one that broke like that. So it wasn't like this was something new.
There's also been a documented case where one of these back drag plows was ripped entirely off from the back of the vehicle. Part of the problem is this pull plow, even though it's under a lot of load and a lot of weight, is only held on with 4 1/2-inch bolts. So that X-frame is not only cracking, but it's also literally ripping itself apart under a load like you see right here.
And he said, I think that there's so much excess pressure on that lift when it hits the stop that it's actually pulling on the mounting hole down here.
Yeah.
And that's what initiates that tear. The hole starts to wallow out, and then, you know, going down the road using it.
In here, it's tearing. It's
putting pressure here when it's up. which puts pressure on this opening down here.
Okay.
And that's what starts the tear in the square tube.
I only use that front plow to push up with nowadays.
All right,
Except on the big snowfalls. And then
I
you
got to
gotta-
clarify one thing real quick with Mike. If I did the mental math right, Mike, you've had 92 breakdowns this season with this plow.
If you count all the shear pins.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm counting every time you've gotten out of your truck to do something that's not snow plowing.
Yep.
You've had 92 breakdowns in this first season.
Yep. This plow is made to push backwards, that's obvious.
Yeah.
What Boss told me was they noticed they broke theirs when they were pushing backwards. Now, I have used it to push backwards.
What did
a
they
little
break
bit.
going backwards?
The X-frame.
Oh, the X-frame broke.
They've
going backwards.
broken.
Okay.
And it was interesting. The first time I talked to this guy on the phone, he said, "Yeah, we broke one here in testing, and I know of another one that broke." The second time I talked to him, I was wondering where's this part, because I was a week down, and they were supposed to drop ship it, and he said, "Yeah, we've broke a few of them in testing," and so I don't know exactly how many they've broken, but
Okay. All right.
they're aware of an issue with that X-frame.
Okay, so guys, this was not meant to be a Snow Power killing the Boss Back Drag Pro video. If that's what you came to, this is not what it's supposed to be. I just want to show the differences so when you guys are out buying a Back Drag Pro, or I mean any pull plow period, you know what to look for, because I think it's kind of an important thing.
In all of this stuff that we did today, it's pretty obvious that this product is not what it should be or what I thought it was. If Boss offered me my money back, I'd take it. There's a few simple things right off the bat, stronger hydraulic cylinders for one, better reinforcement on the on where these pins are, so you don't have this kind of slop. I think that's unacceptable.
That is a lot of slop.
The reinforcement on that X-frame, you don't have to be an engineer to figure that out. It just needs heavier gusseting. There should be a stop with rubber pads that prevent that kind of problem from happening.
All right, so flop yours and then flop mine once, will you, Mike? And hopefully this video will help you guys out. That was the intent. It wasn't to beat the Drag Pro up. It's just that I don't want you guys to go out and buy something and expect one thing but get something entirely different. There's a giant price difference from a Drag Pro to a Snow Power, but you're gonna get what you pay for, you guys. It is what it is. And this is not a Snow Power commercial, but experience, real life, real world experience of all the pull plows that I know of, the Snow Power is my #1 choice. The short iron is my #2 choice, and there is no #3. So Mike, thank you for coming down. Thank you. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do it the right way. Thank you for coming all the way down here. Thank you for sharing your experience with these guys. Any last words of wisdom from you, Mike?
Well, stay safe out there, and like you always say, God bless, and go get them.
Love it. All right. And check out these videos right here, wherever. I'm gonna put them up on later. All right, you guys. See ya.
Thanks, man.